Hey guys, it's Brenda. How you doing today? Listen, I just wanted to take a few minutes of time with you today and talk to you about something that just kind of downloaded into my brain last week and wanted to share it with you. So my subject is about feelers. We all have them, don't we? And sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not so good. And I really think for whatever reason for the Lord, this is on his heart, especially for believers, is understanding the role and the value and the priority of feelings in what we're doing. Now, I'm going to be the first to tell you that I got lots of feelers. I just do. It's part of my makeup. I have lots of them, and I'm pretty expressive with them. But that doesn't mean that they control me or that they get to have top billing in my life or in my decision making for that matter. So I want to talk to you about why that is and how that can be, and hopefully allow you to give yourself permission to not have to feel every feeler that comes through your heart or your brain or your flesh. So here we go. We're going to look at Psalm 12. And you know what? Let me pull that up on my phone real quick. Okay, so here it goes. It says, "Help, O Lord, for the godly are disappearing. The faithful have vanished from the earth. Neighbors lie to each other, speaking with flattering lips and deceitful hearts." Then it goes through, "May the Lord cut off their flattering lips, silence their boastful tongues." And basically just saying, who's going to stop us? We're going to do it anyways. That's basically what the psalm is saying. And then you go down a little bit further, and in verse 5 it says, "I've seen violence done to the helpless, and I've heard the groans of the poor. Now I will rise up to rescue them, as they have longed for me to do." The Lord's promises are pure, like silver refined in a furnace, purified 7 times over. Therefore, Lord, we know that you will protect the oppressed, preserving them forever from this lying generation, even though the wicked strut about and evil is praised throughout the land. Wow, there's so much packed into this. I don't know how long this video will be, so if you hang in there with me, thank you. But it's so good. And you know, the thing about the word is that it just cuts to the quick. You know, there are places where you could just ruminate for all of time, and you'll find something new because it's a facet of God, or it's just crazy deep. And you know, there are some places that are just very blunt, just kind of like I see this psalm when you have somebody like David who did this psalm and is, you know, talking to the Lord and saying, please help, because the godly and the faithful seem to have vanished. Everybody's turning on each other, they're lying to each other, so on and so forth. And I'm sure you can tell, if you're listening, areas that this is applying to, that we're dealing with now, that we're dealing with as a people. These things are usually people problems, right? So, and I'll tell you how this ties into feelings. So, feelings are something that have been made to enhance life and not manage life. Meaning, if you make them your manager, they're going to be cruel and heartless for you. And what I mean by that is sometimes they're going to serve your needs, and sometimes they're not going to serve your needs. And the problem with that is when we see them and they're serving our needs, we're like, yay, feelings, I love feelings. And then when they're not serving your needs, when they're not serving your needs, then you're like, ooh, I don't like this. And depending on how much control they have of your thought life, could really put you in a bad place, an angry place, a heartless place, a cruel place, a tired place. You know, the list goes on. So the reason I say that is because there has to be something else that is solid that you can rely on, something that never shakes or never fades or never changes, and that's God. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And if his word is true, then it's something that we can rely on yesterday, today, and forever. Let's put it this way. Feelings are going to respond based on lots of different factors. There's not just one. It's not just, let's just say this. Feelings aren't forever, meaning they can pass and they can fade. And who of you knows that? It's just like gas in your car. You can put really good gas in it and your car runs really, really well. You can put medium grade gas in it and it runs well, but maybe not as well. Or you can put the lowest grade gas in and, can do you just fine. So is our body. So is our heart. So is our mind. You have to feed it the right things, the healthy things, in order for it to move and spur you into the correct direction. So if you put junk gas in, say, in your body, or if I put junk gas in my car, maybe I'll get together for a little while, but I'm not going to get very far. Well, feelings are like that for my body. Feelings are like that for my thought process. Let me put it that way. If I feed my thought process with my feelings, then I'm going to have really great days and really up days, and then I'm going to have other days where I'm just like down in the dumps. And then you're going to be on this kind of constant roller coaster of I'm doing well, I'm not doing well, I'm doing okay, I'm doing awesome. Rather than feeding the car or my thoughts process something that will sustain it, and that would be relying on truth, or the word in this case, to be the gas that drives me. It's like I have a conversation with my sister sometimes, and we're talking about things and just saying how, it's like when you feed your body good food, and how your output is healthier. And when I start feeding good food, I might struggle a little bit for a while by wanting the foods I have been feeding myself, but eventually that goes away. And then I start to crave the correct foods. Well, your feelings will do that too. So if I start feeding myself the right thought process, if I start identifying myself with what and who God says I am, my feelings will eventually catch up with me. Now, I'm going to still have days where I'm just going to be on point, and it's just going to be like I'm going to just have a fantastic day with the Lord, and there's nothing that can stop me. But I'm going to have days where I'm going to be tempted to believe the opposite of that because I don't feel good. or a situation looks really hard. And instead of giving into those moments, I can anchor myself to the truth and let those form my thoughts rather than how I feel or what I'm experiencing tell my thoughts or tell my heart where I'm going and what's actually happening around me. Because once my thoughts get affected, they will start coming out of my mouth. And once they start coming out of my mouth, they're going to start affecting the direction of my feet. And so I just really feel like the Lord wants to tell you, wants to encourage you. He's cheering you on, and He wants you to know this. He wants you to be triumphant and just overcoming in this area. And so, and I can see Him. He's just sitting there, and He's cheering you on. He's like, you can do this. I know it might look impossible, but you can do this. And so I wanted to tell you, you can do this. It's your moment. It's your time. But I tell you what, be brave. Be courageous and strong. Just like God told Joshua when He took over from Moses. And he had a very daunting task ahead of him if he looked at it in the natural. But he didn't. He chose to trust God. And that's what God's asking of you today. Now, our situation might not be that we're trying to take the promised land, such as that time, but there are certain things that might be considered our promised lands, and that could be very varied by person to person. So I want you to be encouraged to be, I want you to be brave. He wants you to be brave. And he wants you to get out there. And he tells you in Joshua, when he told Joshua about these things, you know, it's how to get prepared. He said, meditate on my law day and night. And, you know, that concept never went away, which is, you know my truth, know the truth. Meditate on those things night and day so that you don't forget who you are. Because when you go to face these things, you're going to be tempted to forget. You're going to be tempted to believe that the very big thing in front of you is much bigger than the God that just brought you through the desert, around this mountain a gajillion times, and out of Egypt. You're going to want to forget that because of what's facing you right this second. So just know that God is for you. He hears you when you call him, and he loves you with an everlasting love. So this is Brenda signing out and praying that you have a fantastic, fantastic weekend. You are loved.